Welcome to the episode. Which episode is this? Have not been recording enough, so I forgot which episode this is. So it doesn't matter, but welcome. That's the most important part because we welcome everyone. It's a fresh, good community, not like antiwork on Reddit that just got banned. And it's so hilarious. Everything that happened around that like subreddit is hilarious. Also, really quickly, I think I talked about this on a podcast, but like Reddit is a great place. There's a ton of smart people, but holy fucking shit, like these main, what do you call them, moderators or people who like kind of control like what should be posted or not, absolute dorks. And I want to say it again because this podcast is annoying, but absolute dorks. So yeah, the girl went on interview on Fox News. Let me double check the time real quick. Okay, cool. So she went on a interview on Fox News. It was completely misery. I didn't even watch the interview because I saw like reviews and reports about that and how that went. And it's sad. It's like people are repeating the same thing. It's like, well, that was cringe. That was awful. The worst thing ever, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, the girl went there unprepared, completely. And I don't want to talk shit about people, but like, you know, like someone who does not like socialize enough, doesn't connect to the real world enough. They live in this little bubble and they try to connect with everyone digitally. They become weird. And that's what it shows. Like people are like that. And the Reddit is full of those people. And anyway, it happened. It's hilarious. It's whatever. Also, with these COVID times, actually talking about like, you know, like, connecting with other people. I recently went to one of the parties, and I haven't been to like a solid party in a really long time. And I mean like a fucking 2 years probably, although it's kind of not true because during this COVID time, some things were on lockdown, some not, but I still traveled I like at least a little bit, I believe. Yeah, I did. Yeah, so there were like some small parties and some home parties, things like that. So it wasn't like full on, I guess, stagnation or like disconnect from society, but it's something like that. And so I go to this party and I'm like, well, cool, kind of exciting, gonna like meet someone, haven't been doing this for a really long time. And so then I get to this party and I have to also say like, as I was walking into the party, I was doing some work and I was really like focused on like logically thinking, what am I gonna do like tomorrow and like all these plans, how do I manage all the resources that I have, so all of this kind of stuff. So then I get to the party and it felt really boring, and that's kind of sad for me to admit because I really like parties. I like meeting people and doing all of this stuff, like it feels so normal, but at the same time, yeah, I get into this environment now, and then it's just like, I don't know, like, it feels just, I don't know, I felt a disconnect. Yeah, some people were cool and very, like, cool to talk to, very interesting, actually, someone who does, like, really cool things, but, I don't know, maybe it's an age thing, maybe I'm just not used to it, but I was upset for some reason about that. And it really kind of stuck in my brain. I'm like, why I don't enjoy this? I always enjoy this, or like I really, really like these things, but now it's not happening. So that got me thinking, and I don't know what's the answer. Could be that I don't really have like a goal because I would go to parties to specifically meet like girls or try to connect with some guys, and like there is like a goal, so there's a purpose for you to be there. In this case, I just kind of went there because I was like, like, you know, what else to do? So that kind of thing. And really, I'm thinking, I guess this could be the reason, because as I said, as I was walking into, my goal was like, okay, plan the work, organize everything, and that kind of felt more purposeful than just being there. But anyway, so that's the thing. Then also, what else has happened? I got the haircut. This is amazing. Finally, dude, it took like, 2 weeks or something like that. And I mean, it's embarrassing to admit. I also kind of didn't want to go because this is part of the thing. Is like I went to one of the like cool barbershops, one of the most coolest ones in the city, and it was like okay, but like kind of don't want to do it again. That kind of thing. And so then I was like, yeah, well, I understand like my hair is way too long and I gotta like take care of that. So the first thing that comes to my mind is this like barbershop that I just went to. It's close and kind of like everything is in my brain, and like the path is already laid out there. So if I think about cutting my hair, this is the kind of closest spot. So I guess I was just like lazy and delaying it, and I was like, I gotta find someone. I don't like finding new like hairdressers because people are weird, and this is I think this is the worst thing ever. If you go to like a new place and the person working there is like, I don't know, either they have like a difficult life or they're just like purely introverted, and then it makes everything weird. Like, I don't know, I just walk into a place and if we don't talk with the hairdresser, I'm not gonna come there again. It just feels awkward because first of all, like I'm gonna sit there for like 40 minutes with people around me and like a person literally touching my head, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is fine, let's just be silent, let's just look at each other through the mirror or pretend that we're not looking at each other. Like, that's so awkward. And I guess some people do that. Some people actually enjoy this kind of thing. Like, they would rather have a hairdresser, barber who would not talk to them and kind of like ignore them and just like do the professional work. Fuck that, fuck it up, but let's talk. Like, that's way more important for me because I don't know, it feels just a lot more enjoyable. So thank God this new place that I went to, that I chose randomly, it was actually a really cool experience. Like, just because we talked and bullshitted and laughed about some random things, and like, cool, now I want to go there again because, you know, as a person, like, it kind of now has emotions attached to this place. So if I'm gonna go to the same barber, and it's gonna have like I'm going to the person, not to the place. That's the big difference now. And I think that's a huge part of like doing any kind of business or doing really anything in life. Like the emotions, this like acceptance, connection, like this kind of thing is very, very, very important. And I think even these barbers, like some people, they choose this role or this job for themselves and they don't really like maybe fully understand. Like, let's say they're very like technical and logical and very like introverted and silent, and they're like, look, I'm like a machine, like a robot, I'm gonna like do this everything perfectly, like perfectly take care of your hair, and like, you know, like it's great, it's an awesome barber, I guess. And I don't know if it's gonna be like for everyone, but definitely not for me, so not for everyone. And I really feel like people who are working with these like closely human interactions, it kind of would make a lot of sense for a person to be extroverted and kind of talkative, welcoming, understanding, like socially aware, that kind of thing. I feel like it can be like really interesting. And also it's kind of funny, and you know, on the other side of things, I know that some girls, like if they go and do their like nails or like lashes or whatever, and it's kind of like a hilarious thing because the person, the specialist that is working with them, they talk back and forth, and it can go that deep and that far and that crazy because some of these processes, they can take like 3 hours or shit like that, so it's fucking really long time. And the crazy fucking part is that the specialist can become almost like a psychologist or psychiatrist because, like, you know, like they would hear about all the problems and like provide solutions and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I still feel like it's better to talk than just be in awkward silence. So yeah. And yeah, so hopefully things are gonna be good and hair is gonna be growing, and I'm gonna go back. And I also was thinking now, fuck, it doesn't matter. It's about the hair. I'm not gonna talk about it way too long because it doesn't matter literally. And also, yeah, something else I wanted to talk about is that I found this podcast, Fresh and Fit, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. And it's such a pain in the ass to really talk about this thing because so these two guys, they invite a lot of girls. They're all based in Miami, red flag, and they talk about different like dating things and what are you doing because you're in Miami. But they're like discussing like how should you like date and what's working, what's not. Why would you do it in Miami? But they're like, oh, this is the best relationship advice. This is how you should get girls. So the thing is, this is the painful part because the guys are saying a ton of truth there. And I agree with them like basically almost 100%. Then the problem is that, you know, their reality, holy fucking shit, I literally wanted to make a video about reality. And I was thinking like, go out somewhere like in nature to the woods or something else and actually make like a shortly edited video because the entire just concept of reality is such a big thing. And I think not a lot of people understand it and just like, yeah, so I was thinking, should I make the video or not? And where did it go? Like I somehow forgot about it. I literally don't remember what happened. I probably got distracted with work and other things, and that's like how it all just went sideways and that kind of thing. Sad. Actually, I should do it. Well, now I don't know when because there's so many things coming. But anyway, so the reality, right? It's like very briefly, like it's everything that surrounds you, like the like things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and all of these like micro processes that you're dealing with on, again, daily basis. So all of that impacts the way you think, the way you feel, like what you're capable of thinking, how creative you are, like all these things, they literally dictate kind of your like cognitive performance, literally, even like it's kind of like that deep. And not even that, like the way you like understand how people are, like all of these things, like even beliefs, like can be impacted by the reality that you're in. So the thing with these guys is they're in Miami. Miami. So, and of course, like a ton of people, girls specifically, that are in Miami, they're not exactly to be like a perfect wife type of, like with their age and with the way they perceive reality in that moment, they're not really there to be the perfect, amazing wife. So that's why, you know, like it's not the best, like, I guess, technical advice, or it's not the best, like, how should I call it? Like, it's just like these girls, they kind of skew the picture. And the hosts of Fresh and Fit, they are saying the right things, considering that they are with these girls. Like, it's a completely strong match. It makes a lot of sense. But then people who are watching the show, majority of them, they are not from Miami. They're from like little city, like Wyoming, or like it's a state, but like there were even like people from Philippines and like somewhere else, like commenting and watching, and that's the point. And so the problem there is that if you put two strong, vocal, talkative guys from the most toxic spot, let's call it like that, and they just kind of dictate and operate and share, and to their reality, it's exactly like 100% true. So there's no problem with there. But then everyone who watches, like, or not everyone, right? Obviously, but a lot of people that watch that, they probably wouldn't understand it. Like people who would get like the basic, simple advice on dating, how to like do things, how to be, all of that. Generally, people are not very social. These guys are not very social. They're not very like outgoing, not really like very socially aware. So they wouldn't even kind of connect the dots. Like if you are in a little city in Iowa and you're watching fucking crazy party guys from Miami, you have different realities, and people, the girls that surround you and them, are very different. Even though there are a lot of similarities, still very different. So that's where this whole painful thing comes from. And then these guys would be invited to some other podcasts, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I want to hear them talk. And they have a ton of valid points, but then I get upset that it's kind of still becomes clear at some points that they're still kind of like locked into their Miami reality, like in their like little bubble, which I just kind of wish that they could step outside of the reality to kind of be able to explain more of how the world works in dating right now, which then would really tremendously help other guys that are not really around Miami type of girls, which is a huge part of it. So, but that's really cool, and it's very entertaining. And also another thing, it's kind of like, of course, these guys would like have a lot of haters. Like, I think this is the like kind of craziest type of thing. Like if a guy starts talking about how to get girls or any of that stuff, there's immediate this hate from both men and women, from everyone. And the funny part is, from men's side, all of the guys, they think they know how girls work, me included. Like everyone thinks they know, and everyone has their own theories and blah 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 blah. And so if you hear someone speak and they like say something that you don't agree with, you're like, like, and then you go like digging, and like it's such a crazy thing. And it's also very interesting how this is such a like catchy kind of, not addictive, or probably addictive thing, where like these kind of topics really catch onto people, like they kind of glue onto people, and like everyone wants to participate. And that's an interesting thing. Besides that, so these guys have sometimes the parts of a podcast or episodes where they invite girls to the studio. Like there's a group of girls that also talk with them, which is very cool and flashy. And for me, seeing those things, it just helped me understand like so much more about like podcasts and kind of videos and the content in general. And I'm still learning. I'm still trying to see like really where is like this thing at that kind of like connects and does, I don't want to say does the trick, but I'll say does the trick because I don't want to search for words right now. And basically like just kind of how people perform and how they do their own like shows and all this kind of stuff. So it's very interesting for me to research and kind of pay attention to. And the crazy part is that when they have these like flashy episodes with girls, so there's always drama, there's always more interaction, there is unpredictability, there is this kind of chaotic craziness. What are you going to ask them? Are they going to be like insulted? Will they like fight back? Like this tension, this kind of drama, that's a fucking big part. People really tune in for those. Like people love that, like they have crazy amounts of views during those episodes, which is awesome. It's good for them, and I still believe there is value for like a very average type of person that, and by the way, very average type of guy that has problems socializing, which is literally like majority of guys right now. Because like with COVID, like you understand, like before COVID, all of the guys were just playing video games because it was the comfort zone. When COVID came and you just cannot go outside or do anything else, now it's like reinforced comfort zone where you just do everything online. And so it's a really huge trap. The more you stay in front of the screen, the more disconnected you become from like, this is a real person in front of you, so you can like, you know, do something with them. And guys that are not social, not around people, they really kind of don't get it that much or that well. So again, as I said, it's great for everyone to watch that podcast for the entertainment or for learning or for whatever. But this is also like a harsh reality, is that when these guys, their podcast, when they try to provide some kind of like value, some lessons outside of these, like, you see these girls, like, this is what you don't do, not that kind of stuff. But when they try to talk about like health or money, nobody watches that. Not nobody, but like a lot less people watch that. Because why? Well, it's not entertaining. It's just boring lessons. And that's the sad part. And this is the reality. Like, this is basically literally like YouTube. Kind of like, for me, again, it's an amazing lesson because I'm trying to understand and see like what people actually like. And I, by the way, very openly, very honestly, I'm going to say, so far, I have not made a single video where I would like really think like, oh, this is what people would really like, I guess, want to click on and watch. Something that would generate a lot of views. That's what I mean. And so then, yeah, the thing is that it literally feels like there's a crazy disconnect, because the things that would get views, they're kind of repetitive, or they're boring, or they're kind of like very basic, or very kind of like on the surface. It's that kind of thing. And something that's like genuinely interesting or has value, people don't really want to watch that, because like that takes brain power to like get the information, because it's like it's harder to listen to something where you have to understand, you have to pay attention, you have to follow the thoughts. It doesn't, like, it's just difficult compared to when you just tune in and you see like 7 girls talking and like kind of like screaming at each other, or like something happening, some kind of like action happening. You can literally tune in at any moment and it's gonna be entertaining, and you're gonna be like, oh cool, I can just like not think, and I'm receiving. And in like comparison, like a video where there is some kind of value, or you can learn something there. From the receiving, you go to kind of like giving, because you have to give your attention and your brain power and memory to like see what's being told, what's the point. Like, it's difficult, so people don't want to do that. And this, like, their podcast, their channel is literally example of that. It's like they talk about money, like 40,000 views. They are hanging out with girls, like 400,000 viewers. So yeah, crazy difference. And I don't know, it's just sad, but that's also like the reality. That's literally how it is with marketing as well. Like, if you have a funnel and you're like, I'm gonna get 1,000 people in, when they'll go through the steps, like it goes like less and less and less. Out of 1,000 people, you can literally have like I don't know, 5 conversions only, or even less. And yeah, it's kind of like how the world works. And I don't know, it always messes me. I would always try to think like it would be cooler to have like you bringing in 100 people, and all these 100 people start working with you because they're all like their kind of thing. And it's a bad mindset, kind of, because then you try to go more into this like value and quality, and I guess make things more serious and logical and all of that. And things become less attractive, less interesting, less all of that stuff. So nobody is interested in that. And I'm not comparing to my channel right now. As I said, I talk about more in the meaning of the marketing, but these are all the same kind of things. And it kind of shows the behavior of people kind of in general. Like, you take a crowd, thousands of people, like you can apply, let's say, different funnels. Like, you give them some offer to buy, like, let's say a car or something like that, and then like buy like a nail polish thing, and then like a new phone case or something like that. Some people will convert, like some small percentage from a crowd, if it's a big enough crowd, will actually go to these funnels. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about this, by the way. I don't have a point here. But yeah, it's very interesting to see this thing happening. It kind of like shows the proof. I feel like I'm figuring something out. And yeah, I think that's it. I also thought about this before I started this podcast. I had this idea where I was like, I want to invite girls and guys on the podcast, and I want them to talk how they are struggling with dating, just so they can like share like, this fucking sucks, this doesn't work, like all of these things. And then my point was that I want to bring up, as I said, like both guys and girls, so they can share their thing, and then whoever watches that, it then becomes easier to relate and understand and see the other side, like what's actually happening with their reality, because we all have these illusions like, oh, it's easy for them, like, you know, like you're a guy, you're looking like, oh, like this is easy, like it's so easy, blah blah. A girl also looks at guys like, oh, everything's so easy, like it's so fucking, your life is so easy. And yeah, so, and I still might do it. I see like a huge value in it, because when there is like a bit of drama, or there is more kind of like personal things where people can relate, that kind of works, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, there are also some challenges there. This setup is definitely not made for that, so whatever, we'll see what happens out of it. Anyway, next thing, what else do I talk about? Completely forgot the time. Is it already 30 minutes or is it close to 30 minutes? But anyway, I think the last thing, I have this amazing note here. So people who believe in vacuum are the most dangerous. What the fuck does it mean? The thing, what I meant with that, I remember I was thinking about some of these thoughts, thinking about some of these life situations, and that's where it kind of came from. So what I mean by people who believe in vacuum, it's it kind of goes back to, I guess, you see the world in a progressive way and in a traditional way. You believe in systems, or you believe in freedom, I guess. Like that would be the opposite of systems. Like there's control and there's freedom, right? And then there's systems, and what's the opposite of that? Like lack of systems, whatever that is. So the idea here is that, let's say there is a company, Tesla or SpaceX, right? And the person who sees like people, so they understand like Tesla or whatever, like SpaceX, right? It's just a brand, it's just a company, and behind it there are like tons of smart people that are working, there's structure, there's things that are happening, and there's like actually like smart minds that are like putting their time in their lives into some kind of progress, like that kind of thing. And then I believe there are people who would just see the brand, or like, you know, like let's say there's the SpaceX thing, and they would kind of tune out right at that moment. They would just, maybe they would think, oh yeah, there's Elon Musk, like he's doing thing, but then they wouldn't think deeper, like there is like, you know, teams, and there's like so much like structure and order, and like everything is like planned, and there's like so much of that going on. So if they choose to not think deeper, let's say about a company or organization, and they just think, oh yeah, it's just a whatever, SpaceX, it's just the brand, it's just the thing, it's just the word that it is called. It could be a government, it could be a company, a group of people, party, friends, like it could be literally anything. It's just that it has some name, some branding. So a person who would not think deeper, who would just kind of like be stuck at the level, okay, it's called SpaceX and they're doing this cool thing, and then you see the brand, the SpaceX, and then all the things that they're like achievements and all the things they're doing, and that's it. They do not see this like gap of like crazy people structure, all these words I mentioned already 2 times. If they do not see that, these are the people who kind of believe in vacuum because they only see the brand and the other thing and then nothing in between. And these people are the most dangerous because they don't really pay attention to what's actually happening or how things actually happening. They only pay attention to like, oh yeah, cool, it's this thing and they did this. And it doesn't, like, it requires extra, I guess, curiosity, brain power, time, I don't know, like those things. It requires that to think and actually realize like, holy fuck, like what would it take to accomplish something similar? Like it is so like insanely difficult. It's like insane amount of funding, problems, like all the contracts, agreements, like license, like it's insane. Like it's literally insane. And then even more behind that, like there's humans, like actually people with their like exactly people like you and me, like identical people, almost identical, you know, like our DNA is basically pretty much the same. Pretty much. That's the big part. Devil is in the details, right? That's how it always is. So, and then these people, they do have their own like lives that are like maybe very similar. They have their own like thoughts, worries, problems, and like these people, they kind of like do the hard work. They do the calculations, the planning, processing, design, all of that stuff. So yeah, here's the thing. If there is 2 people that I can meet and I meet both of them at the same time, and I see that one person is like, you know, they hear a word like there's this government and they've done that, and that's where they kind of stop. A lot of doubts and questions, and I'm like, I'm not sure, kind of like, it's not that I'm not sure, but I would be like, it's literally, that's what it does. It's that kind of thing. I'm like, but I have to kind of pay closer attention to like what's up with you and what's going on with your kind of like thinking process. Do you actually like go deeper, or it's kind of like stays there and you believe in this kind of vacuum? Because why is it dangerous? Oh, okay, and let me finish the story. So, and then the other type of person who literally understands like, oh yeah, it's this, them. They have like thousands of engineers, accountants, like all of that thing going on. Then I'm like, okay, you actually see a picture that is closer to the reality. Because I guess this is another thing. Like if a brand is presented to you and their achievements, you can see that kind of. But then to understand like what it takes, it forces you to like think. So then it shows, if you put your energy and time into thinking, that's like an incredibly valuable thing. You're actually trying, you're putting in the effort to figure things out, and that is incredibly valuable. That's what I believe, like, you know, how I evaluate a person, if like they're interesting or if they're like something, like there's something cool about them or there isn't. It's that kind of thing. So then what was I talking about before this? So a guy that doesn't believe, and they go into this like vacuum, and then and so here's the thing. Let's see if something happens, like the government and they like did this or whatever happened, or the company, right? The company and they did this, like they raised the salary or they lowered the salary or whatever. That's a very like simple kind of minded approach, and this person most likely, like if it affects them, they would become angry or happy without even understanding why, kind of. Because if a company changes their policies and now you're hurt by it, you would be just mad without really understanding what's going on. And that's where the danger is that when you don't really understand what's going on, but you only see this like on the surface thing, like, oh, it's just a thing on the surface. For example, this news organization, and they say something, and you just believe in that. There's vacuum in between, like the company, their brand, and the thing they made or said, and there's a huge gap. And if you don't pay attention to the gap, I think life becomes a lot more difficult. And this is where I'm gonna end. I think we're 30 minutes in. I also have some lamb meat. I think I've never eaten that, so I'm gonna try it in a couple of minutes, and I'm excited for that. So that's it for now. Bon appetit, and yeah, see you in the next one. I hope that's coming very soon.